Hey, what's up, dudes? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another Dead by Daylight video. Today I'm going to be going through the characters that I think are the most likely next licensed chapter killers. Now, there's no specific numbering here from like number 5 to number 1 of most likely next licensed killer, as I think all of these killers are like very, very likely. But before we jump into it, I would like to ask you guys, if you are updated, informed, or entertained, please consider hitting that like button. It helps out the video a ton with visibility and it means a lot to me. And also, if you want more DVD content like this, please make sure to hit that subscribe button. It helps out the channel a lot. It really does make a difference, and that means a lot to me as well. But with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into it. So let's start with the character who just had a major update, Jason Voorhees. So Jason Voorhees has been almost an impossible killer for Dead by Daylight to get for the past few years due to the ongoing lawsuit that actually killed his own standalone asymmetrical game. But thanks to the news about the lawsuit ending a few days ago, it seems like this killer is actually likely now. I know a lot of you dudes out there, and me myself, would actually love to see this license in the game. And so would the devs actually. According to comicbook.com, they did an interview with Matthew Cote a little bit before the Silent Hill chapter actually released, but it was announced. Cote was asked about Jason coming to Dead by Daylight, and he said Jason has a standing invitation to Dead by Daylight. Whenever he's ready, whenever he's done with whatever he's got going on in his life right now, he can come in. He's going to be welcomed with open arms, which is extremely exciting for me. Now, according to King, who just did a video yesterday about all of the news that's been coming out over the past little bit, he and Polly actually did an interview with Matthew Cote, and that video hasn't been released yet, but he did tease Matthew's answer to the Jason situation, where Matthew said, you know, it's something he's keeping a very, very close eye on, which is very exciting, and I cannot wait to see that interview from King and Polly. But the next character we move on to is Pennywise, or It, another fan favorite character who's been requested in the Dead by Daylight community for a very long time, that I actually don't think would be very hard to get in this horror celebration that is Dead by Daylight. And once again, not only does this killer have community backing with a ton of support from everybody in the community pretty much, but it also has dev backing. In an interview with Gamer Revolution, Dave Richards was asked, what established killers from movies or otherwise would you like to be able to add to the game in the future? Richards responded with, there are still a few candidates that we'd love to see in the Dead by Daylight roster. Personally, I would love to see Jason and Pennywise become a part of the family. Now, it's pretty cool that, you know, pretty much every dev wants Jason in the game, but Pennywise is also on the table too. So I think Pennywise has a pretty decent chance to come to Dead by Daylight in the near future. And now we move on to one of the characters that's probably been the most requested in recent months, and that is Springtrap from Five Nights at Freddy's. Now, before the Hellraiser chapter was actually revealed and it was being teased, there were a ton of what seemed to be teasers for Springtrap or Five Nights at Freddy's. Of course, that's not how it ended up to be, but this really did spark an uproar in the community revisiting that want for Springtrap in the game. It's always been there, but this tease season for Hellraiser really amplified it by what seemed like 100%. And according to Leaks by Daylight, of course we have to take this with a grain of salt, but according to them, people at BHVR, the devs, have heard the FNAF fans and are looking into getting cooperation going with the FNAF devs to get the character in the game. Now, there's been talk and info in the past about multiple people reaching out to the devs, trying to facilitate something to do with Dead by Daylight and FNAF, and so far to no avail, but all of this uproar, this attention, people reaching out has definitely put FNAF and Springtrap especially in the eyes of the Dead by Daylight developers. And I actually think he might be the most likely for the next licensed chapter, as Dead by Daylight does 4 chapters a year, and 2 of those tend to be licensed. And if we track the dates to the licensed to not licensed chapters, it seems like the next licensed chapter could actually fall on the 6th anniversary of Dead by Daylight. And if we know anything about the past 2 years of Dead by Daylight, is that DBD has been doing a lot of video game licensed chapters for the anniversaries. So this anniversary could possibly be the one where we see this character. But that is, of course, if there's not a licensed chapter for the first chapter of the year in February. And the next licensed character I want to talk about is probably the character that's been teased at with clues from BHVR themselves, been the most requested, been the most talked about in YouTube videos from people like myself and King and Polly, and that is Candyman. Candyman has honestly been one of the most requested characters I've seen in a video game ever. And the devs have also went out of their way to tease this character more than any character I've ever seen in a video game ever that has not eventually ended up in that game in a short time afterwards. If we go all the way back to 2020, one of the community managers for Dead by Daylight seemed to be teasing Candyman, saying, man, this Dead by Daylight anniversary is gonna be pretty sweet. Now, of course, we ended up getting Silent Hill, but that immediately set people thinking that Candyman was going to be the anniversary killer that year. And even further so, for that anniversary, they changed everything in their Discord to have something to do with bees. Even the name of the Discord changed from Dead by Daylight to Dead Bee Daylight. We had Hive Chat, Bedia, Beams, Beaterings, The Colony. Like, it was just overboard. Even members of the Discord were changing their names and everything to go along with it. So, this character seemed very, very likely for that event. For that reveal, I thought it was Candyman, but if this does anything, it shows that Candyman is a front runner in the licensed chapter killers. So I definitely think this licensed chapter is going to be coming sooner rather than later. Even though me and a lot of other people have been saying that for years at this point, I do think next year could finally be the year we see this character, as we're kind of running out of horror cult classic characters to actually add to the game. But I really want to know y'all's thoughts, so let me know in the comments down below. Did I miss a license? Did I miss a killer that you think is more likely than any killer on this list, than any license on this list? Let me know in the comments down below. Also, let me know who you think the most likely is out of all the killers on this list. I'd love to have a conversation with you dudes about it in the comments down below. But anyways, that's going to do it for me, everyone. Thank you so much for watching the video. I really appreciate it. My name is Tainted, and I've been your host. I'll see you dudes next time. Peace out.